Hi guys, great to see you all after some time. Hope you're all doing safe and fine. And a lot of things are happening in Indian cricket, whether it's respect to the men, the women, the domestic sides. The Ranji Trophy competition has just started, and the IPL auctions have just got over. So there is a lot of things to just talk and have a chat about. So on that note, let me welcome Laalithya from Indian Domestic Cricket Forum. One minute, she's just joining. Yep. Just waiting for her to join. Hi Laalithya, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good as well. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining in.
Yeah. I hope everything's
So,
good at your end.
yeah, all good, all good. Thank you so much. So, I just, your story is very interesting. You are a doctor as well as a cricketer. So, first things first, how do you manage both at the same time? I know it's very difficult.
To be honest, I just play a little bit of league cricket, and I don't do it like professionally in the sense, I'm not looking to really go anywhere with it. I just play it because I like playing, and it's a good distraction from medicine is very tough. So, you know, and I'm also a scientist, so like both
Wow.
these things are like super tough, and it's good to have distractions. So yeah, I play cricket on the side and just a little bit uh, do various things on the side. Yeah.
That's great. So, cricket as a profession, passion, distraction, whatever it is, I'm sure it's really very addictive. So it's
Yeah.
great. Okay. Yeah. And first things first, let's just dive right into our topics for the day. Uh,
Yeah.
coming to there is a lot of buzz about the Indian women's team who are currently playing their, 5-match one-day series in New Zealand
Yeah.
against New Zealand. So, this serves as ideal preparations for them. It's a 5-match ODI series, so they can try out a lot of combinations. But, till now it hasn't gone in our favor. We have lost the first three games, but a lot of players were under quarantine and all. So we have two more
Yeah.
games left. So how important do you think it is to probably India to just get some wins under their belt before going into the ICC Women's World Cup?
So I kind of feel like cricket or most about anything else in life is a lot about momentum, right? So when good things are happening, they keep happening, and when bad things are happening, they just keep spiraling out.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
if you go into a tournament like an ICC tournament with wins under your belt, it kind of means that you have some sort of momentum going for you, and that is very, very important in a long tournament when you're playing so many sides, and the two, like, yeah, you played 5 ODIs there, but it's still foreign conditions for us. So, having some sort of a momentum is really important, I feel. And if you go in losing 5 games in a row, I don't think I need to spell it out. That kind of
Yeah,
spells doom for any side's morale.
yeah. So, hearing that, hearing that itself, puts me into a depression, a depressing mindset. So let's not go there. Hope,
Yeah.
we bounce back quite strongly and win the other two games as well. So,
Yeah.
talking about extended quarantine, a few of the players have missed out. So, being a doctor, how tough is this going to another country and quarantining? How can the cricketers keep their minds afresh when you have a big tournament coming up in 10 days and you'll have to spend some 10 hard quarantine for like 10 to 15 days?
So, okay, this is where I think our preparation in New Zealand is really helpful more than the fact that we've gone there to play cricket. Of course, you're going to get used to the conditions, but I think the fact that you're not quarantining just before the World Cup and you've already done it, so you don't have to do it again, that is a huge help. Whereas a lot of other teams are going to come, they're going to quarantine, and then they're going to start their World Cup right after
Correct.
that. So in that way, you have a lot of mental breathing space now that you've done the quarantine, and you're like, basically you're just going to continue playing. You're not going back into a shell and then coming out and then playing. So that's going to help a lot. Apart from that, quarantining as such is very difficult. But when you have a bunch of friends, right? If the team environment of the team morale is good, it's going to be a blast, because you're not going to be like, it's not like you're quarantining with a bunch of strangers, right? It's a bunch of friends, and
Right.
you're not, whatever you're going to do in that quarantine is never going to come out. So you can actually bond better with your team, and in that way it's actually a great help. So yeah, I don't think it's all bleak quarantining.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
good that you find it that way. So now just talking
That's
about,
the only way you can look at it. If you have to go through it,
yeah,
it's better to look at the positives than thinking, oh, I'm going to be here for like 14 days. What am I going to do? Just think about all the things that you can do.
yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you on that. Anyways, as you said, it's mandatory. So why not
Yeah.
make it really, probably not a fun aspect, but something that you have to go through with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do it as like, keep as positive a mindset as you can, and just go and like bond with your teammates. That's all you can do, and that's what you should be doing.
All right, all right. So, just we can just discuss about the squad a little bit, the Indian squad for the World Cup. Oh,
Yeah.
I know that a few names, prominent names, were missing, the
Mhm.
likes of Jemima Rodriguez and even Shika Pandey, just missing
Yeah.
out from the squad. So, do you think that's gonna affect the Indian team's performance?
If you actually ask me to be very honest about the squad that we have, it really doesn't inspire too much confidence. It's not about just the way that they're playing in New Zealand right now. It's just in general. I think if you look at the squad, right, nobody has a good average. Nobody has a good strike rate. Like everybody is striking at 70 or 60. I mean, those are what I think when I was a kid, that was the strike rate that was acceptable
Yeah,
in
yeah,
ODI
yeah.
cricket. You
Not
know,
anymore.
it's just not acceptable anymore. I mean, even a strike rate of 100, people are like, oh, it's only 100, you know. And we have a team that's what I think. I mean, I don't have the figures right at the top of my head for everybody, but then if you look at the people, right, I think some people like Yastika are like what, averaging 25,
Yeah, yeah, they
and
just debuted. So, probably it might be even Medna has been really impressive in the little opportunities that they have got. So the
yeah,
real issue, I guess comes with the middle order. So, once Smriti Mandana comes in,
yeah,
so things can get really better, but it's the middle order that's been, striking at really 60, 65, and I think
yeah.
that's going to, hurt India because
And we have been like, I think as far as Indian domestic cricket forum has been concerned, people have been panning Mitali Raj, saying that, dude, her strike rate is so low. Of course, she's playing all these long innings and, she's getting all these good scores, but then her strike rate is so bad. There is some truth to that. But then you also have to look at the fact that there's nobody else who's playing.
yeah,
So does she throw her wicket in search of a better strike rate, or does she just stand there and make whatever she can? That is something she has to think about. And people just go on panning Mitali Raj. What about Harman? Her strike rate has been equally poor, and her average has been so dismal in the last
yeah,
10
yeah,
or
yeah,
15 innings. Her average has been so poor. and nobody has anything to say about her because I think, the entire rage is concentrated towards Mithali because she's playing slow. That's all people see. But I see it as she can't play in any other way, given the team that she has.
That's a very, very
So
fair point. Yeah, as you said, Raj kind of anchors and she scores. If she's the only one that scores and if the others don't contribute, 60 ball 30 is better than, a 5 ball 10,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
At least
Yeah,
some runs are scored. So what do you think? You spoke about Harman. Her form
yeah,
has been, of late, she's been subject to a lot of criticism also, and a lot of people, experts have come out and say that, she should be rested for a while. Do you think,
yeah.
going into a major event like this, do you think we should back someone like a Harmanpreet Kaur? You have backed her all along, and you think she will come good. So do you think Harman needs to get somewhat more support from the team management, or whether they can afford to experiment a little bit before such an event like the World Cup?
I think now it's a bit, late to do any kind of experimentation as such. But that being said, the, who was it? I think in the last ODI, there was this person, Meghna, right, who
Meghna,
did
yes,
really well,
yes,
and she's in the
yeah,
reserves.
yeah.
Now, if she does well consistently in the remaining two games, what do you do? So, who do you back at that point?
Yeah, exactly.
I would say go with form because she's got momentum, right? So you back her and you drop someone who's in the team and who you think is like a sure starter. So I think a lot will depend on the next two games and whoever does well, and if they're doing consistently, they probably should get at least a game. And
Yeah.
seeing how it goes in the rest of the World Cup. There's no,
Okay.
like, to be honest, if you look at the squad, is it giving you confidence that they're going to win the cup? Let's be very honest here.
Okay, so if you ask me that, there is definitely, I would say that there is potential, and we also have a lot of depth. It's just that we haven't been playing the right combinations. I feel so. For example, New Zealand is a place where you get a lot of swing, and
Hmm.
seam movement as well. So we saw New Zealand playing four seamers, four
Yeah,
pacers. Okay, and India, they have a justification saying that spin is our strength, and we are going to go with spin. But the issue arises when we are playing three spinners and just two seamers. So when the ball is swinging around and the track offers nothing to spinners, I think India should adopt a different approach. The plan should be according to the conditions. It's different if it's India. You can play with three spinners and two seamers. But when the conditions are very conducive for seam bowling, I think India should change their strategy a little bit. I think Ramesh Pawar, the Indian coach, has also hinted that India might be playing three pacers in the next two games. So I really hope that happens. So no, with
yeah,
three pacers, you give a kind of cushion to Julan Goswami, who has
yeah,
only been the really one who has created an impact. And Pooja Vastrakar is the only one who has the capability of bowling a bouncer. Okay,
yeah,
so you need to have a lot of variety. You need to have someone who can surprise the batter. So, and
yeah,
someone who can move the ball, someone with experience. That's the kind of attack you go with. So,
yeah.
rather than seeing the squad, I would see it as the right combination. They should play
Hmm.
three seamers, two spinners, and six batters. That will definitely win you games. I think India
Yeah,
are a bit of a very, very one-dimensional right now with their approach by, just saying spin hamara strength and we'll play only spinners. Okay, but
yeah.
if they look at things from a different perspective and they are willing to change their plans, I think they can really go all the way. I think they have the potential.
Yeah, I think on paper, see, we have a really good squad, and you know, all the players have really good potential and they've done well at some point. But then I am just looking at it in the last 1 year. What has this team the people who are in the team, what have they done in the last 1 year, and really doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. So for me, looking at it, I'd be like, throw caution to the wind and play the best 11 on that day. Just
Exactly.
play the conditions and play the people who are in form and have momentum, rather than being like, oh, you know what, we've backed this person, she's the vice captain, or she's the, so can she be dropped? No, on that day, if the pitch is such, and if the reserves are playing well in the next two games, play them. You have nothing to lose. Nobody is really expecting you to win based on your performance in the last 1 year. So even if
Absolutely.
you like experiment and do badly, I don't think nobody's going to hold that against you. People will be like, at least they tried. But then you
Absolutely. That
go in
makes
with the
sense.
same combination, you backing your same people who have been failing day in day out. People will be like, this was expected,
Absolutely.
and they
That
didn't
makes
even try
total sense.
anything.
Right. You're right. So we have a question from Shah. So will Mithali Raj get a farewell like Sachin Tendulkar in 2011? What do you think?
I think she should. I mean, she's earned it. She's definitely earned it. If anybody in this team actually has earned a good farewell, it's Mitali and Julan.
Julan.
So
Yeah.
whenever they want to retire, wherever they want to retire, there has to be a match. That's what I feel. But will it happen? Let's hope it does.
Yeah.
Because,
Fingers
it's
crossed.
again women's cricket and it's been given such stepmotherly treatment by the BCCI. I I don't know what they're gonna do.
Okay. Okay. Let's hope for the best. Let's just hope sincerely that these two legends, who have been serving Indian cricket for more than almost 2 decades now, at least
Yeah.
hope they get a very, very fitting farewell. So,
Yeah.
who do you think will be key? Just pick out 2 to 3 players from the Indian side who are going to be the stars for India in the World Cup. Your picks.
Um, okay. I think Sneh Rana, I really like her a lot. So, and I think she's got spunk. She can surprise you with the things that she can do. So I pick her. Then there's obviously Mithali. I mean, with all that experience and so many runs under the belt and the way, and she's still getting 50s now. Forget the strike rate, dude. That's all she can do. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, she's not doing anything wrong. She's actually holding forth. And she needs to do that. You can't capitulate like the men's team did, like 32 all out. You can't do that. So, she's actually the one who's standing there and stopping that from happening. And yeah, so she's really important as well. And I am very, very like, I hope the reserves get a game. Like, I really like Meghna. And I was so
Yeah.
happy when she did well in this last game. So I hope she makes it into the main squad rather than being in the reserve.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I sincerely hope that too, because there is always, scope for change when Smriti is going to come in, and
Yeah,
we still don't know who the extra batter that they are going to drop. So, but Meghna, according to even me and you, she shouldn't be the one who faces the axe. I think she should
yeah,
also continue to be a part of the 11.
yeah.
Absolutely. And my picks will be Shefali Verma, Smriti Mandana, and
Mm-hmm.
Julan Goswami.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it kind of
Hopefully.
makes sense. I mean, I kind of didn't take the names that are expected to do well,
Right.
Like,
All right.
you would expect Julian to do well, you would expect Smriti to do well because she just won the ICC, the award and everything. So I kind of wanted to pick the people that are not really, people are like, yeah, okay, Smriti, you kind of expect her to do well. So I thought of who are the other players.
Right. Okay. So, any tips, probably any tips you can share for cricketers, upcoming cricketers, on how to keep themselves injury free before a World Cup. We saw some of the Indian players also missing out on a couple of games due to stiffness of the neck, hamstring injuries. How can how can you probably schedule your sessions, your fitness sessions, whatever it is, to keep you injury free before something as important as a World Cup?
See, I guess when you're when you're training for a World Cup or any tournament for that matter, the last couple of weeks is not where you change your training pattern.
Okay.
And your skills training, I think you should have done by then. That is not where you come and try to bowl and or try to bat. Your skills should be, okay, you practice your skills, but then I think the last 2 weeks should be like really about your strength and conditioning and recovery. Everybody keeps forgetting recovery. Recovery is so important, and even in every single workout, cooling down is so important. So just as you do warm up, you have to concentrate that much on cooling down as well. Otherwise, you're just going to get injured.
Okay, so strength and conditioning and focus on recovery. That's key.
Yeah, and rest. Like sleep
Rest.
as much as you can.
Okay.
Because your body repairs itself when you sleep. So, sleep as much as you can, and just focus on recovery. Don't forget recovery. Recovery is as important as any other training that you do.
Noted. All right. So final word on the women's part. Your predictions on who's going to lift the title.
Oh, I kind of think, the Australian women, they're like super strong going in, and the conditions that they play in are also not that different, and the time zone is not very different for them. And they have quarantine free travel between Australia and New Zealand. So they have a lot going for them. I think Australia has an edge.
Australia has won so many World Cups. Please let it be someone else this time.
Yeah, I hope it's like, I hope it's someone else. I really hope it's India, because we went so close last time, and it's just so near yet so far. It's seriously, we've had that too many times with the men and the women. It's just enough, man. It's time to win something. So yeah, and also I think if you kind of rally around the fact that you want to win this for Mithali, like what they did for Sachin, maybe it can give you some sort of a psychological advantage in playing the World Cup, and that may help actually lift the team spirit despite what has happened in the last 3 games. So let's hope.
Let's hope, let's pray, let's do whatever possible from here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm going to cross all my fingers and my toes and everything.
Everything. Okay, all right. So moving our focus to the men's cricket, trending news is that Rohit Sharma, who was recently taken over captaincy across all formats, he was named as the Test captain as well. What are your thoughts, on Rohit's captaincy?
I actually feel that Rohit is a very lucky captain. So far, at least, and he also has very good man management skills.
Yeah.
And at the level of international cricket, it's not about your strategy, and everybody has their own strategies. It's about putting all of that together and having a cohesive strategy for the team. So having an overall picture, and also man management. These are the two things that I think at that level they're the most important, because they're all a bunch of adults. But then, when you put just a bunch of men or a bunch of women together and be like, yeah, okay, you're a team now and you're going to play. Even though you're adults, you're going to end up behaving like kids. So, I don't know, at that point, the captain has to be someone who'll be who's able to manage that kid in all of these adults. And I think he does that pretty well. And he's got this kid in himself who he lets out every now and then on Instagram, I guess. So, yeah, I think he's got that skill where he can manage people very well. I think he'll do well.
And,
what are
I
your
feel
thoughts
that
on captaincy, and what do you think is actually really important as far as captaincy is concerned at that level?
I think, as you said, man management is key because, the players at that level, they already know the skills and they would have already played, umpteen number of matches in those situations. They would have been in the similar situations. So all
Yeah.
that matters is how you manage the talent given to you and, the clarity. I really like the way Rohit Sharma is very, very clear with his plans. For example, if you see his tactics in the IPL. He's very clear about bowling a spinner in the power play. He did that with Washington Sundar in the T20Is as well in a few series when Virat Kohli was absent. That really worked. And even in the one-day series against West Indies, his field placements were really good. If a leg spinner is bowling, he stands at slip a little bit wider so that the ball turns and goes away. And if it's an off spinner, he comes close in. He always has an attacking field, I feel, having a gully. And,
Yeah.
once wickets are down, he also has these short leg, silly point, things like that. The thing is that, he's always there.
Yeah.
And he really knows what to say, what not to say to his players when on the ground. I think
Yeah.
he has done a phenomenal job as a captain, and he's very cool as well. All it matters is that you have different people. You have a batting coach, you have a bowling coach, you have a performance analyst, okay, whatever it is to teach everything else. But the
Mm.
captain, he needs to analyze the situation, what it's exactly over there, as in, if 10 or 18 balls, 30 runs is required. You should know what field would be the best and whom to give the ball to. I think
Yeah.
Rohit is very clear and he doesn't let the outside factors like pressure, even if it's tension, whatever it is, get to him, and
Yeah.
he makes those decisions quite clearly. So I think it's going to
Yeah.
be a really good time for India
Yeah. I
across
think
all
like the last
formats.
time we had someone like that, we we won how many trophies, like multilateral trophies, right? So I think,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, everything he touched was turning into gold. So I hope that
Yeah.
era comes back to Indian cricket.
Yeah, true. Yeah. And the other thing about Rohit, I find is like he's got a plan B and he's got a plan C and he's got a plan D and he can think of plan E on the feet.
Yeah.
Like as and when it's happening, if his plans are not working, he has the capacity to like change. He's not this one plan person, which is what I actually really like about his captaincy.
Absolutely. That's very important for a captain having backup plans,
Yeah.
playing according to the conditions. I think he has all the qualities that make, a great captain.
Yeah. I think, but then it's really, really interesting how KL Rahul and even Rohit Sharma, how they made it into the test team and now they're like the captain and KL Rahul was like the vice captain and the captain in the last series. That didn't go well, but then he was given that opportunity. And a year back he wasn't even in the team. And with Rohit Sharma, people were like, oh, he doesn't have the test temp. To be honest, even I still think he doesn't have the temperament to be a good test player. He's improved so much, but he still needs to like stop throwing his wicket. He gets these good scores, and then he plays such a rash shot, like it's some T20 game or something, and he gets out, and you're like so frustrated. You've done all the work. Why throw it now? And it affects the. I think especially like in it didn't affect India that much in the games that Rohit played, but had he done something like that had he played in South Africa and had he got out the way he usually gets out, I think I would have really lost it. I would have been like, man, you go back to Ranji cricket now. And learn how to play red ball cricket and come back.
That's a true fan rant. I understand. I totally understand.
Because you've done all the hard work, right? You've grinded everything. You're like, now you're seeing the ball. You've like understood the conditions, and then you throw the wicket. That's just not done.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. As a, someone whom you look up to so much and someone whom you think, okay, this guy is going to make the difference, and suddenly that
Yeah.
player gets out, I understand how
And
disappointing
it's
it is.
exactly been my problem with Virat Kohli. I mean, he does all this hard work. He plays all of these balls and then he goes chasing that ball outside the third or the fourth stump, and you're like, man, why? I mean, okay, I understand if you've done it in the first half an hour or even the first 1 hour, also fine. But you stood here for so long resisting that urge, and then you give in. Why, man? It's like you don't want that 100. You're like, no, I need to chase this ball. It's more important than my 100. It's more important. Why?
Totally. Okay. I really don't know that this page admin is female. Proud of you. Okay, that's for you. Okay. So yeah, I think since he has taken over Rohit Sharma, they have won the ODI series very, very convincingly. 3-0. It's a great margin, and the third T20 game has just started, and West Indies are bowling first. I think
Yeah.
it seems really easy. When seems to be really easy. Things are a lot under control whenever Rohit is not just outside the field, the kind of aura he carries, the kind of way in which he's so calm and cool, especially white
Yeah.
ball cricket. I think it'll fetch India a lot of results. So,
Yeah.
I kind of, really like this concept of giving a, all an opportunity to all players. For example, Avesh Khan,
Mm.
he's playing today, and even Ravi Bishnoi, whenever he got his opportunities, has made the most of it. So,
Yeah.
since we have a lot of players coming up from the domestic system, it's
Yeah.
great to see the management keeping their faith, the captain and the coach having a lot of faith in these cricketers, young cricketers, and handing them opportunities, right?
Yeah. True. It is, and but then I'm so glad that they're actually doing this at least in white ball cricket, and because I think a couple of months back, was it, or during South Africa, it was the coach Rahul Dravid who was like, "Oh, the youngsters have to wait for their turn," and we're like, why, dude? Why do they have to wait? Just because you're a senior, you can't be given an indefinite rope, you know? Ask them to go, and nobody's asking you to like not give them a chance again. Just ask them to go play Ranji whenever it happens, or ask them to go play county cricket or whatever cricket that they can. Step back one level, get runs, get your confidence back, and come back to the team. It's not like people are like, nobody's saying that they should not get a chance again. Everybody knows that they can do well. In fact, Rahane, I think, was given, even by the fans, he was given such a long rope because of his captaincy in the series in Australia. But uske bharose pe, how long will you play? Yeah?
Yeah.
And you know that you need runs, so why don't you just go get runs? And for at that time, for the coach to be like, oh, the youngsters have to wait, I was like, man, this is just going to be like more of the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad that they're not doing that with ODI, and they're giving
I was
youngsters a
really
chance.
disappointed when, someone like a Rutraj Gaikwad who had
Yeah.
just 3 centuries on the trot in the Vijay Hazare Trophy, and
Hmm.
he didn't get a single opportunity in the South Africa series. So I think, that was really disappointing. I
Yeah.
really hope that Rutraj gets, a chance to make his debut really soon.
Yeah, yeah, I hope so too. I'm actually waiting to see what he can. I think, more than the ODIs, of course, he's done very well in the ODI series as well, but I mean, ODI domestic cricket as well. But yeah, I'm actually waiting to see him in the T20 side.
Yeah,
Why
me too.
BCCI only focus on men's cricket too? That's exactly what our problem is also. Why are you focusing only on men's cricket? Women also play. And that's what I said, I think, a couple of minutes back, that women's cricket has been getting such stepmotherly treatment from the BCCI. And it's not just from the BCCI. I think it's also like the rest of the most of the boards around the world. And I think more than anything, it's got to do with the economics of the situation. Not many people, let's be very honest, watch women's cricket. And if you're not bringing in the money, your board is going to treat you like a stepchild. That's very, very simple economics. It's economics driven. If your TV rights are not going to fetch you money, if your if your ground cricket sales are not going to fetch you money, the BCCI is going to focus on things that will bring it money, because they also have to pay salaries. They have to pay the players. I think even during the COVID, when the Ranji season was cancelled last year, they still paid all of the. They still decided to pay all of the players, right? So for all of that, you need money, and I guess that's why they focus on the men's team. So if more of us watch women's cricket will also get the. I mean, women's
Absolutely.
cricket kind of has that. It still has that old world charm about it. I think women's cricket and associates cricket is like the cricket that we grew up watching.
Yeah.
So it's still got that charm about it. So if more people watch it, I think it will get the recognition it deserves and the treatment that it deserves from the board.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it all starts from the fans, when you
Yeah.
start watching a lot of games, of course, the marketing is going to go up and the revenue is going to be coming in. And definitely. So, why highest run getter? Okay, Neeraj, probably, why that happens is, sometimes it's not easy, in an IPL auction. There are a lot of mechanics that go into it. Things like data, things like the specific roles, what the franchises are looking for. And, they already have a talent scout teams, which is, on the lookout for a lot of players who are doing well in international leagues, domestic, everything. Okay, so they choose which player they need to target at. And in an auction, with 10 franchises going dynamically for teams, it's not really easy to pick exactly the player you want. And sometimes play plans change, and when another player comes up, probably the franchise thinks that they might be a better fit for the culture of their franchise. So you can't equate why a player has gone unsold, but an auction, it doesn't go always as expected. So some players get picked and some don't. So
That kind
it's
of
how that
leads me to a
happens.
question that I would like to ask you. In the IPL auctions, I think we're segueing into the IPL, but yeah, it's okay. In the
Sure, sure.
IPL auctions, I think the teams, they really splurged a lot on pacers. And I think by the time they came to the spinners, they didn't have the money to buy any quality spinners. That goes for like all the 10 teams. So why do you think the franchises splurge so much on pace bowling this time?
See, this time, maybe because of the fact that the IPL is going to be held in Mumbai. Till now, it's Mumbai. Mumbai is the location, and probably the playoffs will happen at Ahmedabad. So Mumbai, it's a very very batting friendly wicket, and the
Yeah.
spinners usually get go to the cleaners. There's spinners, they and you are playing under dew also, so it might be difficult for the spinners to grip, and the boundaries are a bit shorter, and it's a batter's paradise. So when compared to spinners, Wankhede and DY Patel are more pacer friendly. So that might have been one of the logics for the franchises preferring pacers over spinners. But
Yeah.
probably when the locations change, some franchises do have, for example, Rajasthan Royals, they have picked up Chahal and Ashwin. Now that's a quality spin attack. So some franchises have made backup plans, but some haven't. So it'll be interesting to see where the location is,
Yeah,
and then
I was really surprised by the way the franchises spent money, because this was like the big auction, right? The mega
yeah,
auction.
mega
And
auctions.
this is where you build your team for multiple years. This is not like अच्छा ये एक साल के लिए मैंने team बना ली है, चलो next I'll again buy someone else next year. That's not what this auction was about. So you had to look at the team balance, your not team balance, and you have to look at your squad balance, right, for the next 3-4 years. That's I felt that is not what happened at the auction.
Agree, agree.
So yeah, it was very very strange for me looking at the auction. I was like, what is happening?
Okay, so many of them have asked for under 16 the tournament updates. As of now, there is no formal announcement. probably after the Ranji Trophy gets completed, we might have the under 23 and under 19, and then last, I think they will take a call on under 16 depending upon COVID situation. That's the update that the BCCA has given. And moving on to the last part, Yash Dul, what a fantastic year this has been for him, winning the under 19 World Cup and making his Ranji debut, back-to-back centuries, in the same game. He's just the
Yeah.
third player to have done that. What a fantastic talent. People say that he is a junior version of Virat Kohli.
Yeah. I've heard this as well. Even on the IDCF Facebook group, I've heard people like immediately comparing him to Virat Kohli, and being like, "Oh, this is the next legend in the making." I had only one thing to say to them: let the boy breathe. Don't put all that pressure on him. It's just his first game. It's amazing that he's done so well, but it's his first game. He is he's a very exciting talent, but I think we've gotten into this mode of hyping people based on one performance, based on one series. Even one series is still fine compared to one performance. So I think we do that a lot, and even the same goes for panning people for one performance. Don't lift people up and then throw them down, and lift them up and throw them down. Give them some stability at least when they're starting out.
Completely agree to that. You give them all these tag names like Junior and Baby AB. Now we have, the kid is just 19 years of age.
Yeah.
So, let them have their own journey. I think, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Agree. So, last question. About the under 19 players picked in the IPL. Raj Pawar has been picked. Hungrekar, Rajivardhan Hungrekar has been picked. Yashtul has been picked. Vicky Oswal has been picked. So, how important it is, to get into the IPL, because the IPL is the best T20 league in the world. So, how big of an experience it will be for these young cricketers, and what can they learn from, the senior cricketers?
I think when you play in a tournament like the IPL, it's the fact that you get used to playing in front of crowds, right? So for their sake, for the sake of their growth and everything, I sincerely hope that there's crowds at the IPL and it's not played behind closed doors. That would be such a colossal waste of opportunity for these guys, because why you need to play the IPL is to basically learn how to manage pressure, how to manage all those eyes on you, right? So because you already have the skill. Yeah, but then you're from the under 19 level, so you really need to up your skill as well. That's there, and rubbing shoulders with some of the really good cricketers out there will give you some sort of it will give you opportunities to interact with them, ask them questions, and maybe learn a trick or two from them. But then you really have to put in all the hard work to match up to their level, because let's be very honest, if you look at under 19 and if you look at Ranji cricket, there's a lot of difference in the skill level of the players. It's not just the body filling out and doing its thing. It's also the mental aspect of the game that's completely different between the two levels, and also your technique and everything. Under 19 is like your stepping stone, right? It's like your baby steps.
Yes.
So I don't think your cricketing skills have been fully developed yet at the under 19 level. So there's a lot for them to learn, and definitely they should take the opportunity with both hands and interact with as many players, not just from their squad, but from across squads, and go to the games and watch them from close quarters and try to imbibe as much as they can from everyone, because it's like going to university, right? To be honest, this is what going to university looks like. Just treat it like that and go learn.
Sure, absolutely. It's a A to Z experience for them. You can interact, you can learn, discuss techniques, whatnot. So IPL, the youngsters, it's a great platform for them.
Yeah. And you don't know when you're next going to get a chance to play for India. And I don't think there's like an under 23, under 25 World Cup that happens.
Yeah.
So the next chance for you to play for India would be India A or
Yeah.
the India senior team. So and you don't know when that's going to happen, and you don't know when you're going to get the coaches that IPL has to offer and all the support stuff that IPL has to offer. So I think take full advantage of everything. Whether you get a game or not doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So I think we have covered what Indian cricket is, what's happening in Indian cricket, domestic men and women, as of now, and hope all the three departments, the men's team win this series 3-0, women's team bringing back the World Cup, and the under 19 stars making it big in the IPL.
Yeah. Hope all of these three things happen, and hope the under 19 guys especially learn a lot and take complete advantage of everything the IPL has to offer. Don't be like, oh,
Absolutely.
I didn't get a game, and just, okay, you didn't get a game, but you would have gotten so much by the end of it just by being there.
Absolutely agree. Completely agree. Okay. Thank you so much for joining in. It was a
Thank you so
pleasure
much for
having a
having
chat for
me. It
you.
was fun.
It was
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So wishing you all the best on your career, and probably
Yeah.
let's plan for another session during the Women's World Cup.
Yeah, we should definitely catch up during the World Cup. Maybe do a post match. Like, one of my fellow admins was like the admin of my group. She was saying that maybe we can do like a collab for a post match analysis for every India game.
Sure.
Could be good fun.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Let's just plan it out. Thank you
Yeah,
so much. I'll just catch with you soon.
sure. All right. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.